All set, John? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Laird. I am with Campus Technology Services. I'm a media and design specialist, and I am also the administrator for Panopto, which is our video management service on campus. And today I'm going to give you an outline of what we're going through.
I'm watching their face, and now I can't find them.
The first thing that we're going to be doing is talking about setting up an account in Panopto, how that works in Blackboard. I'm going to show you how to record a video using the Panapto software. And then after you record the video, I'll show you how to upload that to the Panapto service. And then I'll also show you how to upload videos that weren't created in Panopto. So if you have videos that you've already created by other means, or if you have videos that you use in your classes, those you can put into Panopto as well. After we go through that, I'll show you how the captioning works in Panopto, and I'll show you some of the stuff that we have on our Panopto website. So let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. All right, so this is our website, oswego.edu/cts/Panopto. And there's some videos on here that kind of explain some of the stuff I'm going to go over today. The first thing that we're going to do, there's this link here that's setting up Panopto and Blackboard. That goes to a YouTube video that kind of walks you through. It's very simple. So I'm going to show you how that works. So this is, well, let me go to a different course that doesn't have Panopto in it first. Okay. So in Blackboard, each Blackboard course has a link called class recordings. And when you click on that, that's over here in the left navigation menu, you'll get this Panopto content section. So if you haven't already done so, this says the course is not provisioned and allows you to do so. So if you click configure, you'll come to this screen, and then you click on add course to Panopto. So what you can see here that creates your account in Panopto. So you aren't able to do any of the recordings or access Panopto until you do this step. You have to do this step in order to set up an account so that you have access to it. So not only does this set up an account for you and create a folder for the class, it also, you'll see here, it gives access to any TAs that are in the course, and it also gives viewing access to students in the course. So this automatically sets up the permissions for your folder in Panopto. So when you set up content and upload it to Panopto and it gets posted to Blackboard, this automatically allows the students that are registered in your course to view that content. Just a note about this, these are the only people that are able to view your videos. When you go into Panopto, you might see videos from other instructors and other people on campus, and that's because they've made those public. So I get a lot of questions like, well, I can see so-and-so's videos, so can they see mine? And that's not the case. The videos that you might see in the Panopto interface from other people, that's because they've made them public. So by default, your permissions are only for yourself as the creator and your students as the viewers. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. So after you provision this and set up your Blackboard or your Panopto account, you can click return to course. And once you click on that class recordings section, you'll get the view of your Panopto folder. So this is where your students will go to see the content that is posted to Panopto. I would recommend, if you're using Panopto to record videos, there's a couple of ways to access Panopto, but the easiest way, if you go into Panopto through Blackboard, and then this green create button, if you click on that, you can start the recordings right from here. And it already has your credentials through Blackboard, so you don't need to do another login. So this kind of passes your username and password automatically. So it's just one less step that you have to do. So that's the basics of setting up an account with Panapto and Blackboard. Does anybody have any questions so far? Am I going too fast? We good? Hanging with me?
There's a couple in the chat, Dan.
Okay. All right. Christine, does it have to be done for each class? It does. You don't need to, like, say if you have multiple sections of one class, you do have to set it up for each class. But if you wanted to record, like do one recording and have it post to multiple classes, that's something that we can set up for you. It's just, it's a little complicated, but you do have to set it up for every course. But if you do have multiple sections, we're able to, you know, you can do one recording and it can be posted to multiple folders.
Thank you.
So no problem. And Debbie, if your course copied, does that copy, or do you need to? No, you do need to set it up for each course. So if you did a course copy from a section from last semester, you do need to go back into Blackboard and configure it for each new section. So it's not something that gets copied over, because each new course has its own folder. So if you did have content, that being said, if you did have content from a previous semester that you'd like to use in a new semester, that's something that once you do create the folder in the new course, you could copy that content over if you wanted to repurpose it. So you have access to all your recordings from all past sections. So if you want to repurpose it in any way, you're able to do so.
Dan, what if we did like YouTube videos or Screencast-O-Matic? Can we still upload those into Panopto?
If you have, like, say you created something in Screencast-O-Matic and downloaded the video from it, you can upload that to Panopto. There's no way to download from YouTube, so you can't really repurpose it because it's already in their cloud. So you would have to have the video that was posted to YouTube, like the physical video file, to post it to Panapto. So
because I've downloaded it from my other classes, so it's available. But okay, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, if you have the file that you uploaded to YouTube, you can just throw that into Panapto, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just a server that allows the video to be viewed from their server rather than YouTube. So. Okay, I'm going to move on. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll stop periodically to catch up with them. So, okay. So you've set up your account through Blackboard, and you don't have the video recording software yet. And that's something that you might want to use to make video recordings. So you go into your Panopto folder, click create, and then there's a Panopto for Windows, and I imagine that it will say for Apple if it's on a different machine, but I'm going to click on this. So if I've already got it installed, so it'll say launch Panopto, and I click on that and it'll open Panopto automatically. If you don't have it, then there's these installers. So if you have, you'll probably have Windows 7 or Windows 10. You can download the installer for that. And then if you've got a Macintosh, this is the installer for that. So this is where you get the program and download it and install it. So once you've downloaded it and installed it, then once you come back in here and click Launch Panopto, it'll automatically do that. So I'm going to click Launch, and my browser wants to make sure that that's okay, and I say yes. So I imagine I have to change my share so you can see my Panopto window. Okay. All right, there we are. So this is what the recorder looks like in Windows. It's somewhat similar in on Apple. It's just the aesthetics are a little different, but most of the options are basically the same. So once you open this up through Blackboard, it automatically has the folder that you opened it up from the course that you were in. So this one has, this is what my course was that I was in. So this will automatically put the videos that I'm creating into there. And I'll go into that when I go into the uploading, but I just want you to see that first. So some of the basics of the recorder, the name of the video is automatically given a timestamp. If you wanted to change that to say you were going to teach chapter 1 in the text that you have in the course, you can, you know, go in here and say, so you can change that to be whatever you'd like it to be. Over here in the sources, this is, I've got 2 cameras set up here. One's in my laptop and one's on my monitor. So you can't, just so you know, you can't share, like we've got Zoom going right now. I've got Zoom running on my computer. You can't share a camera between 2 different programs. So it won't let me use the other camera because it's in use. You're probably not going to run into this because you shouldn't be running Zoom and Panopto at the same time, but just letting you know that that's how that works. So under video, you can choose the camera that you want. Then under audio, you can choose the microphone. I'm going to do this one. So after you choose the microphone, you can see that there's, next to my video preview, there's a meter here, and that is the recording levels. And you want to make sure before you start a video that you see these moving, like do a, you know, just a microphone test, because that's, you know, the main, you're going to be doing a screen capture in your recording, but if you don't have audio with it, it's pretty useless. So this is what you want to make sure is working right off the bat. So just make sure that when you select the audio source, that you do a test and you see that these levels are moving as you're talking. So, and just make sure it's at a decent level. Right now, I'm pretty close to this microphone and it's getting to kind of the mid-level and I'm talking in a louder voice, so it's okay. But if, say you're in a classroom and the microphone is up in the ceiling, it might be farther away, you can adjust the slider a little bit. So that kind of brings your levels up. So if, you know, there's noise or you're farther away from the microphone, you can adjust this a little bit to compensate. So, and under here, there's a capture computer audio. So if you're going to be recording YouTube videos during the recording of your video, say you want to incorporate that in your class, this will take the audio that is being played on the computer and record it into the Panopto video. So before this option was there, it was recording the audio that was coming out of the speakers, and then that would get recorded into the microphone, and that it's not very good quality. So this is grabbing the audio from the source, so it's a better recording for your students to hear. So, and also there's secondary sources that you can set up on here. It automatically will capture your PowerPoint if you're using one and capture the main screen, which is whatever you're presenting on your computer. If you have a second screen and you'd like to capture what's on that, there's an option for that. Also, if you're doing recordings on campus and you would like to use a document camera, which if you're someone that does work on the whiteboard, this is something that you should consider, because the cameras that are set up on campus can catch what's on the whiteboard, but not very well. A lot of people that are that do math, that do a lot of work on the board, will use a document camera and write out their problems underneath it so that it's much easier for the students to see in the recording. So If you click on add a video source, there'll be, on campus, they have Wolf Vision and Samsung document cameras. So one of those will usually be listed here in most of the classrooms on campus. So you can incorporate the document cameras into your videos as well using this. So. Okay, so that's just about everything on the front interface of Panopto, the recorder. Does anybody have any questions so far? Let's see.
I had a question. So in Panapto, I'm trying to follow along with you as you're doing this.
Okay.
And I don't see the option for PowerPoint. In fact, in my Panapto, it's the PowerPoint is grayed out.
Are you using the Windows or Mac version?
The Windows.
Okay. And you have PowerPoint installed on the computer?
Yes.
Okay. Normally it's on by default. Is it checked and grayed out, or is it just not checked?
It is grayed out. It says starting PowerPoint, but that's grayed out and it's not checked.
Okay. Normally when I'm not even sure why this is actually on here, because if you start PowerPoint, it'll automatically normally capture it. PowerPoint doesn't have to be open when you turn on the recording. You can open it after, but most people already have everything started. I'd have to look into that because I'm not sure why it would be grayed out. And I'm not sure that would make any difference because this should be recording anything on the screen anyhow. So the PowerPoint integration with this, it does a screen scrape of all the content that's in your PowerPoint, and it allows you to do kind of like chapters in the video. So when you advance a slide, it will create kind of a point in your video that students can move through. So it does add a little bit to the playback, but your PowerPoint's going to be recorded regardless because that's what's going to be on your screen. So I'd have to take a look at that. But I'm going to assume if you had a PowerPoint up and you were recording that it would capture fine. But yeah, let me, I'll have to get back to you. It's Michelle.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, the other questions. I think I answered your question, Todd.
Dan, I have a question.
Yep.
My question is there an advantage of using Panapto over Zoom recordings?
Zoom is a better product if you're doing synchronous, like live classes, because Panopto does have the ability to do a webcast, but the interaction between you and your students is minimal. And plus there's a delay with this. This is more of like if you're doing a webinar and projecting out and not really looking for feedback from your audience. This is more of a asynchronous, I want to do recordings, post them to my Blackboard course so that students can review them at a later time.
Right.
So that's the main difference. Zoom is better for, you know, live interactive sessions with students. Panopto is more of it's a better product for recording videos and for later review. So not so much, I mean, it can do live, but it's kind of an inferior product to Zoom in that regard.
I was thinking in terms of editing part of the videos. Is there an advantage of using Zoom recordings over Panapto or vice versa?
As far as editing, I don't believe Zoom has an editor online. Do you know that, John?
It does not, or not that I'm aware of.
I didn't think so. So Zoom videos, you'd have to download and edit in some sort of third-party product. But in Panopto, it does have an online editor. It's not the most advanced editor, but it does allow you to cut and paste material from a video. So say if you had, you know, a couple minutes before your course started that you recorded that you didn't want to, it's very easy on the bumper and the bumpers of the video to move it back and forth to kind of edit that part. And plus you're able to you can add stuff after the fact. So it does have a few options that are helpful, and it's probably easier to edit Panopto courses or Panopto videos than Zoom videos. So
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Okay, so if you are recording in a classroom, is this already installed on Podium computers? This Panopto is installed on all Podium computers on campus. So even though that's the case, not all classrooms have recording hardware in them. Quite a few do, but if you're teaching somewhere on campus, there's a website that you can go to that tells you if it's outfitted with the proper equipment. It's on the CTS page. It's the ATC page, and I believe it's well, I can show you afterwards, but you can look up to see if there is recording hardware in the classrooms. If there's not, then you would have to bring like a webcam with you, a little tripod for on the podium, and then plug it in each time that you'd want to record it. But quite a few classrooms, I think we probably have about 80 or 90 classrooms on campus that have the ability, that have the hardware already in them. All the lecture halls do. Not all of them have video, but all of them with the lapel mics that are available, you can record through those. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, anything else before I continue? Okay. So you're ready to record. You've got the recorder installed, and you've got all your video and audio set up correctly, and you've named your video whatever you like. So you hit record, and I'll say starting devices, getting everything ready. So once it starts recording, this is capturing everything that you have on your screen. So while you're talking, you can present, you can bring up your PowerPoint, you can bring up Google Slides, anything in your browser, YouTube, anything that's on the computer. If you're using special software that was installed on the computer for a lab or any sort of, any of the extra stuff that we have available, this is going to record it. If you click on this little button here, it kind of gives you a preview of what it's recording. In case you're like, I want to make sure it's recording. Well, that'll tell you. So once you hit record, you can kind of minimize this and then go about whatever you were going to do in your lecture. And after you're done, you go back to this window and you click stop. So that will say recording complete. Here you can see, oh, I made a typo. I got 2 capitals. So you can change that if you want. And then if you want to throw a description in here, you can. If for whatever reason, you wanted to do another recording, like this was, you got 30 seconds in, you're like, oh, shoot, I said something wrong. So you can hit delete and record again. So that'll start it back over. Or if you're happy with what you've got, you can click done. This will bring you to the upload. And this is going to happen real quick because that was a 1-minute video. So there it goes. So there'll be that little progress bar that will, you'll see the progress as it's uploading. And then once it finishes, then you'll get this little window or little section here next to the video you just created that says processing. So you created the video, it uploaded it for you, it uploaded it to your folder that has the name of your course. So it's processing that video and getting it ready to be available in your folder. And then it'll post a link in your Panapto folder in your course. So I believe since it just finished processing that it might already be available. But by default, you're going to get an email that says your video is available. And in the email, there'll be a link that says if you'd like to view it or edit it. So all the videos that you create are on your local computer. They have been uploaded and you can feel free to delete these. Really, the only reason that you should have to keep these is if the upload had a problem, and you'll pretty much find out right away if it did. Like it'll pop up an error if there's a problem. And most of the time, the only time we see errors with uploads is if someone shuts down their computer while it's uploading. So that's another important thing. Make sure that you don't shut off your computer while it's uploading, because that will sever the connection and it won't be able to complete. However, say you did an hour-long video and it's taking a little while, you can close this program. It does have a service in the background on your computer that's still uploading it. So, but don't shut off your computer, because it can't upload if your computer's turned off. So that's the only problem that we really see with uploads is people shutting off the computer before it finishes. So just make sure you don't do that, and you should be okay. If you want to get back to your recordings, let's see, you can click on Manage My Recordings. It'll bring you there, or we can just, I'm going to close out of this window. And then I'm going to share with you my browser again. Okay. So if I refresh this, my video should be there. There it is. All right. So it's uploaded. It's been processed. You should have got an email that says, hey, your video is done. And this is by default able to be seen by your students. There are ways that we can set this up so that it makes it pending. So if you would like to upload videos, but you're like, I want to go through it, or I want to edit it, or I'm not ready for them to see this material yet. There is a setting in here where we can make sure that it doesn't automatically get published. It'll put it on a hold. And the options for your folder, you click on this gear box right here, this little gear. And let's see other settings. Yep. So you go under settings, and there's an availability section. So right now, all sessions become available immediately, and that's the default setting across the platform. If you want it to be held, you can click on when approved by a publisher. So that will make it so it's not able to be seen until you say it's okay. You can also give it a starting date, and you can set this on each recording too. Like this is a filter setting, but you can go into each recording and say you created a recording for your class next week and you want it available on Monday. Here, I'll go into, so if you mouse over the video, you'll get this settings button. And then availability. You can click on this and then say, I want it available on the 25th. And that will be available on the 25th at 9:20 a.m. So if you wanted to schedule their availability for students, you can do so with each one. And, or say, you can have these, let's see, available forever. So this gives it an expiration date. So say you want the videos available until the end of the semester, and for some reason after that, you don't want anybody to see your videos anymore. So I can go, so let's say classes end Friday the 7th. So you can set a schedule when it becomes available, and you can schedule when it becomes not available. So you can do both if you wish. So that's uploading the videos you created in Panopto in a nutshell. Any questions with that? Let's see, anything in the chat? Good. Okay. Okay. So say you have a video you didn't create in Panopto that you would like to upload into Panopto so that you can share that with your students. And then also, after your course is done, you can do whatever you wish with it. You can share it out on whatever platform you want, but you click on create and you do upload media. So here you can either drag something from your desktop or a folder in here, or you can click on this and let's see. I'm going to say, sure, I want that in here. So you can take any video file that's on your computer and you upload it into Panopto and repurpose it from here. So as you can see, it's finished and it'll process just like the ones that you created in the recorder. So, and then once it's done, it'll show up in your feed and you can treat it as any other video that was recorded with Panopto. Same features, same settings, all that good stuff. So, any questions with that process? That's something that I don't know how. I know it's kind of an ongoing thing with Zoom where the videos are being purged each semester, I believe, because we only have so much space on Zoom. So we have been asking people to download videos from Zoom and upload them to Panopto. So this is probably a process, if you're in that boat, that you'll have to utilize. But I'm not sure if that's going to change with Zoom or not. I'm not the Zoom admin. So, but just so you know, if there is something, a message that comes out that says, hey, you know, we only have so much space on Zoom, you need to move your content out of there. It'll probably say something about moving into Panopto. This is the process that you would use to move those videos into Panopto. So, okay, any questions with that? So there's my the video I just uploaded. Okay. So next thing I'm going to cover is captioning. So by default, every video that is uploaded to Panopto gets captioned. So as you can see with my first video, there's this little closed caption icon here, and that means it's already been captioned. So with shorter videos like that one, it looked like as soon as it became available, it was captioned. It's pretty quick. So I haven't done a longer video, like an hour long, but I don't imagine it takes too long. I think it might be around the realm of maybe 10 minutes. So if I click on this to view it, so this is my video, and here are the captions in it. So as it's going through the video and it's going through my speech, it will highlight. So once it starts recording, it'll highlight. I don't know if you've all ever seen LinkedIn Learning or Lynda.com, but it has a similar setup where it will progress through the captions as they're being said. So you can kind of read it ahead of time. So it has like it's kind of like an online transcript, so you can see everything. It's kind of neat. So that's where the captions are in the playback. Hang on, I will show you where you can see them. So someone asked about the editor. This is how you edit the videos. If you mouse over the video in the Panopto folder, there's an edit button. So this is where you would go to edit the video itself and edit the captions. So down here at the bottom, it kind of has the timeline of my audio track and my camera and also my screen grab. So it has the different portions of the video that are captured. Up here on the upper left, you click on captions, and this will allow you to click into each portion of the captions, and I can edit this, take out stuff. So it's nice. The captioning with this, I mean, most platforms now have punctuation and capitalization of sentences. Some don't, but this does, and it's nice because if you've ever had to edit captions before and it doesn't do punctuation and capitalization. That's just like another thing that you've got to do, and it does take a little while. So it's nice that it does it for you, and the accuracy on this is pretty good. I've seen some professors where English is not their primary language. It does a fairly good job. It's not too bad. But you're going to want to still come back here with each of your videos and check it at least. So at the very least, just make sure that it's not saying anything obscene. Make sure that the words are fairly correct. And then if you can go through with a fine-tune code, even better. But yeah, it does a pretty good job. So after you've made changes with your captions, you click apply, and then it'll say changes have applied, close the editor. You click OK, and it'll bring you back to your
computer using special software that was installed on the.
So that's how the captioning works. So say you wanted to either get a copy of the captioning file or move this video out of Panopto into something else. Say I want to put this video on YouTube. YouTube does have its own captioning, but if you've already worked on this caption file, you might as well grab it, you know, because you put the work in. So if you go to settings, go to captions, so you can click on this and it'll show you available captions. So it says, you know, you have some available captions in English. You can download the file. This is the original file that had any mistakes that you didn't correct. Then there's the download unedited caption file. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The download file is the one that's live that you edited. And then there's the original file that was applied to the video. So I don't know if you want the original, but if you wanted to download your edited and perfect caption file that you already did all this work on, click on download file, and that will download the text file that has all the captions in it. So I get asked that a lot. You know, if I download my video from Panopto, will it have the captions? It doesn't. The caption file is separate. So you need to download your video and then download the caption file, and then you have to upload both to whatever service you're looking to put it into. So that's the captionings in a nutshell. Anybody have any questions on that part of this? It's pretty simple. It's a very simple interface. I've done captions in YouTube, and the YouTube editor is a little bit more complicated. This is pretty simple. So I'm just going to go over a few more things in the interface. I showed you some of the settings in the folder. This is where you get to those. So you can apply settings across all of your videos. So in here you can, if you want your students to have the ability to download the video, say, you know, with this, you can, they can take videos and watch them on their mobile devices if they want, if they're in an area that doesn't have connectivity. So it's kind of good for that. But if you're concerned with, you know, people having a copy of your video, then you don't want to do this. By default, only admins, videographers, and creators, which is, I'm an admin. We have a couple videographers that handle course content, and then you're the creators. So by default, only those admins and people that own the account have that. But you can have all users with access to the video to be able to download it if you wanted to make that available, just so you know. Okay, you can share a folder. This also applies to videos. Each video you can share outside of just your class and your students. Say if you wanted to share it with a colleague at another campus, you could put in their email. So this is, that's my personal address. So you can share it outside. You can share it. Those videos I told you about where people made them public. If you want to make those available to everyone in the world, you can click public on the web. If you want it to be available to just anybody that you share the link with, you can do anyone with the link. You can restrict it to SUNY Oswego if you want. That's the anyone at your organization. So if you do anyone at your organization, it gets listed in Panopto. That was what I was talking about earlier. So if you do make it available either at anyone at your organization or above these three options, then it will show up in Panopto in the interface. So just be aware of that. So not a lot of people make it that widely available, but just so you know. And you can do that. You click on the share button on these. You can do the same thing in here per video. Also, there's analytics with this, so you can see who's watching and for how long. So you can do analytics by folder. Right here, I just created the video, so it doesn't have too much to view. Top viewers, you can download these videos. And in here, let's see, no, not in here actually. Let's go back. So you can look at the complete analytics of all your videos, or you can look at it per video. And in here is where users will be listed. So I don't have anybody that's watched. So, but you can see who is watching these and for how long, and the level of engagement. So it'll give you like this heat map that'll show you how long they watched it, at what parts of the video they either shut it off, or what part of the videos they go to. So if there's something that your students might be having a challenge with, or having you can kind of see where they're going to in the video. So there'll be a spike if there's a particular part that they're looking at. So it can be useful. You'll see huge spikes if any of you do review videos. Those are very popular, and those get very high numbers. So when I've looked at other people's numbers, that's usually where I see the largest uptick. So okay, so that's it with the interface pretty much. Let's see. Let's see if you have any questions so far. Could you show how to record a PowerPoint with your smaller presenter image recorded in the corner as a narrator? So by default, when you click on this, students click on this to view it, there isn't a way to have your head down in the corner. There's ways that they can manipulate this interface. Like, see, I can move the videos around. Hang on, I didn't want to make that full screen. So I can change this. So, I can go to whatever camera I want and make that larger. If I just want to view, say the screen grab and not the video of the speaker, I can do that. So there's different ways that the students can change this to view it. If you wanted a video that has you talking in the corner, when you export these, you go to settings, and then I believe it's, yeah, outputs. So say you wanted to download your video from Panopto. This is where you can set up what that looks like. So as you can see here, by default, it's picture-in-picture, and you are the talking head down in the bottom corner, and your screen will be the main part of the screen. So that will give you what you want, but this isn't something that is published in Panopto. This is something that, hey, I want to grab my videos out of Panopto. What does it look like? This is what that looks like. So that's how you would get a video that has just your screen grab and then you in the corner. So you can change this too. Say, hey, I don't really care if the video of me talking is on here. You can have it be, so primary video is you talking. Secondary video is your screen capture. So say that's what I want. You make a change in here and you click apply, and it has to be reprocessed. So it takes a little bit longer. After you hit apply, it'll do more processing and then make that file available. So, and then once it's available, you can click download podcast, and then it'll give you an MP4 of that video that you can save to your computer and then do whatever you want with. So that answers that question. Also, how to switch recording from your full presenter video over to the PowerPoint during the recording. I'm assuming you mean for full presenter video, just the main speaker. As I showed, it's not, you don't switch, you're not dictating what people see. People choose what they see. So we could have, like, say you had a guest speaker that you wanted to record them doing an intro. They talk about themselves for 20 minutes and then they get into their presentation. That's both going to be recorded at the same time. Like the PowerPoint will be waiting for them to acknowledge it. It'll already be open. If it's not already open, it's fine. It's just, this is going to capture the screen and the video of the speaker, regardless of what the main part of the video is at that moment. So the audience in the playback gets to dictate, what they're looking at. So it's not something that you control. So I'm assuming that answers your question. Any other questions? Okay, good. I just wanted to go back to the website. It has videos on here. So it has setting up Panopto. There's PDFs on how to install the recorder. There's also links to the mobile app. So there's also a mobile app that you can record to and your students can use to view. So you might want to, if you do decide to utilize Panopto in your course, I would mention it in your syllabus at least, or in class, that they have the ability to use the mobile app to watch these as well as going through Blackboard. And also, hey, I did put it here. So the ATC page, the Advanced Technology Classroom page. So if you are curious to see if a room on campus has the hardware set up, you can go to that page and click here and say, I want to see if classrooms in Mahar I want a camera available. Click apply, and this will list all the rooms in Mahar Hall that have the camera and webcam that has both video and audio recording. So that's how you can find out about that. And also on the Panopto page, there's this help resources. I kind of put the articles on here that I get the most questions about. A lot of people ask about copying or moving videos to another folder from past courses. This kind of shows you how to do that. It's pretty simple. Batch copy or moving multiple files, that's also a common one. So, and some video editing stuff. So that's all I had. And I think that brings us to the end of the session. So anybody have any other questions before I let you go? Okay. Yeah, either go to the website. You feel free to email me, daniel.laird@oswego.edu if you have any other questions. I'll be happy to help you. If you have any issues, you want to do a remote session through Zoom, I can walk you through, how to set it up and any other questions you have. I'd be happy to do that. So that's it for me. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
You too.
Thank you.
No problem.